Hey, what's up, everybody? Gregory's Odd World here. And drop a little knowledge. If you find value in the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And I encourage you to share that if it could help someone else. So, basically, what I want to talk about is undervaluing yourself and overvaluing yourself. So, recently, what I've been going through is doing like, some workout at this the compound. As you guys have been watching the channel, so you probably know what I'm doing. And I'm out there doing little electrical work, I'm doing plumbing work, I'm doing drywall work, I'm laying a little bit of tile, I'm doing concrete work, I'm construction, I'm fabricating. I mean, I don't even know if they're painting. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I can't even say how many different things I've done since I've been out on this job site. Now, I asked the person, I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to, but I asked the person that's basically the one who's having me do all this and help, what he believes I'm worth by the hour. Now, I got a pretty good idea of, my value of what I'm worth as a human being, what my time's really worth. I mean, first off, just remember, we got 74 summers, 74 winters, 74 springs, and 74 autumns. Now, when you think about it like that, it doesn't sound like you have that much time, because you really don't. And so, being told that you're only worth $35 an hour when you're doing jobs that other people are saying, no, you need to get another contractor in here. So, for example, we had a gas heater that needed to be put in, okay? Now, I'm not certified to do it, so I can't do some of it, but most of it I am well aware of how to install it, how to encase it, how to plug it in, how to check that it works and all this stuff. So, what's going on is, first, the people come in to install the heater. Well, the heater can't be installed because there's no baseboard. So who has to build the baseboard? So I go build the baseboard. Then we're told that, oh, well, the gas line isn't hooked up absolutely right, and so we can't install the heater. They come out again. So what happens? Another company comes out, charges to reroute the gas line so that we can get the heater put in. So what happens next? People come back out again, and they're like, well, we can, install the heater, but the ducting work hasn't been done. So who has to do the ducting work? Now, here's the thing. When you are that type of person and you are helping production along rather than hindering it and saying, oh, well, I could drywall that, but I can't do it until you have a carpenter come in and, put it together correctly so that I can drywall it. Then, what you're doing is you're doing a specialty. So it means you only do one thing. And when you only do one thing, you're completely limited to that one thing. And so this has happened more than once on the job site where the drywallers needed, me to put all kinds of stuff in, which they could have done very simple. We're talking about like just putting in little screws and making little spots so the drywall can be screwed in. Like nothing serious. But do they want to do it? No. And how much did they say they were going to charge extra? Considering it's not in their job description and it's not what they do for a living, a lot more than what I charged. But yet, when I asked the question, how much am I worth by the hour? by an individual who's watching me do this stuff. He tells me I'm worth $35 an hour. Now, ducking work, I would assume is probably anywhere from 35 to 65 an hour, somewhere right in there. Plumbing work is anywhere from like 45 to maybe even 100 an hour. Electrician work, same. Could even be 100 an hour. But here's the thing. I'm being a gentleman, and I'm doing things by the project, and I'm knowing how long it's going to take me and what I can do. And what that means is that since I can go in and drywall, paint, texture, do the carpentry work, cut out the ducking, and go ahead and plug it in and make the mantelpiece, then I think I'm worth a little more than 35 an hour. So it's a complete insult. But here's the thing. Just because you know what you're worth doesn't mean somebody else knows what you are worth. And if they don't know what you're worth, then you have to prove it to them. So when I heard him say that I was only worth 35 an hour, I said, oh, okay, that's a challenge. I think I'm going to do something about this. And so what I decided to do was I started doing what I was already doing all along, but instead, and I think it's a douchebag move, but this is, love and war in business it's all fair. So this is how it works. I started doing all kinds of extra things, and I didn't charge anything for them. I started sweeping up the other workers. I started cleaning out the windows. I know what needs to be done. He's trying to get renters into the place as soon as possible, and there's all kinds of little odds and ends that need to be done that aren't being addressed because there's too many other things going on. So what do? I go out there and I do my work for the day, and then I sweep out the steps so that I don't have to do that next time. Then next time I go out there, I do my work, and what do? I make sure that I clean up the area where it's all screwed up and it needs to be, cleaned anyway so paint can go down. I start doing all of these things. So now I'm not multifaceted. I'm like, faceted out the yee-yah. And you know what happens? Exactly what you think would happen. He tells me, oh, well, this and that, and doesn't look like you're doing this. And he's got like his objections of the work, of the quality, of the time frame it takes to do it, and etc. And so you know what I say? I say, oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. But did you notice that I swept up the whole house? Did you notice that I vacuumed out all the stuff underneath there that everyone was just going to leave down there and then just board it up? And then it could be a fire hazard? Did you notice that I cleaned all that off so that things could be installed and painted and textured and ECT? And he says, oh, yeah, I guess that has been like that for a while. And I didn't notice. And I said, well, there's a lot more that you don't notice that I do on a regular basis when I come out, because I plan to go to work to get more done than do the bare minimum. And you know what? After that, I think his idea of me being 35 an hour, mind you, I've never ever charged him 35 the hour because I don't believe in working 35 an hour. I don't believe in working by the hour. I think that you should evaluate what the job is and what the price is, and the best way I really think to do that is to just ask them, what's it worth to you? And if they try to lowball you, then you say, no, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it for this much. And if they highball it, then you just accept. Or you say, oh no, that's a little too much. How about we do it for this much? There's always more work to be done for a person that's willing to be understanding and go the extra mile. And so when we overvalue ourselves, it doesn't really help us. And I was overvaluing myself in his eyes. So what I had to do was get him to tell me that I was overvaluing myself in order for me to be able to understand, where I stand. And so I just started, making myself more valuable. And what happens? Next thing I know, Oh, well, here's a bottle of wine. Oh, here's a little bit of food because I had to ask this guy for a loan because I was just behind in rent money and stuff like that. So he's been there to take care of me. It's not like he's a complete tyrant. But what's crazy, if I was working at $35 an hour on all the projects that I've been finishing and getting done, dude, I wouldn't even be able to make a living, honestly. And so the point that I'm making is all you people that are working by the hour, remember, if you're working by the hour, it's because someone is making profit off of your hours of life, which you have very minimal, in order for them to have more than you. So when you work by the hour, what you're really doing is setting yourself back, especially if you're doing it for someone else. Now, I will work by the hour sometimes, but I also work for myself. And so I adjust for this, for that. I adjust for taxes. I adjust for gas money. I adjust for the insurance. I adjust for the site conditions. I adjust. And when they get upset and ask me, why is it so expensive? Then I always have a nice long list that is completely practical, because it has to be practical and reasonable, understandable. And then there's no argument. And then I get the job. And it's that simple. So if you found value in the video, please like, subscribe, and share. If you made it this far, then you're going to get a little extra, because I'm going to give a little thing that I know. So as my income increases, my expenses and bills decrease. Pretty simple way of living. And this is how the entrepreneur mindset works. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to have not enough. It doesn't mean that you have to have too little. It doesn't mean that you're going to have too much. What it means is that you know exactly what you need in order to get by. And when those times come that you don't have as much as you normally do, you've already prepared for it. You have a contingency. So, yeah. That's that, and I hope you guys found some value in the video. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one.